Hello everybody, my name's The Accordion. I play a lot of games and then I review them. And today what I want to bring you is Crusader Kings 3. Damn, Paradox Interactive's new game. Now before we get into Crusader Kings and take a look at it, I want to tell you a short story about the studio itself. And they put out some really good games. I've played Hearts of Iron 4 for so much and enjoyed it so much. It's just amazing. They do a really good job. However, what I've noticed tends to happen with Paradox games is the game itself, when it comes out, it's a bit bare-boned, right? It has features that are missing that you know they're gonna get implemented in a future expansion. And as time goes on, you get the new expansions, you get the new content out, and what happens is you play the game, right? You buy the box for 50 euros in this case. Then you get another expansion for 20 euros and then another expansion for 20 euros and so on and so forth. And the mechanics of the game keep building up. And the game gets more exciting, yeah? And more mechanics. But you have to keep that in mind. That eventually the game is going to change so much from all the expansions that it's going to be a completely different game. So what we're taking a look here is the bare bone version of it. What came out on release on September. And I've got to say, I'm kind of excited about it. Keeping that in mind, now let's take a look first at the settings, see what the game's about. So, what we have here is the settings menu. And you've got three tabs. You've got the graphics, audio, and game file. Now, the graphic settings are there. Yeah, they're quite basic, not that much in detail, not that much customizable options. But then again, it's 2020, so yeah, that's that. The audio, you got the master music sound effects, everything ambience and interface. What really triggers me is that it only goes in 10% increments, right? So if I want to have 95, I can't have it. Why? Come on, why do you have to give me 10% increments? Oh well, game is still good though, so far. And the game tab where you have the tooltips. I've got to say, from Paradox, you tend to get these really overcomplicated games with a lot of mechanics that are hidden behind menus, and you have to dig real deep until you realize what's actually going on. And tooltips in this game, I've heard, are an amazing addition. Also, you've got the achievements tab, and I've got to say, Paradox tends to put out some really nice achievements out there, and you have a lot of fun completing them. And there's a whole lot of them as well. Now, keep in mind, some of these achievements are easy, sure. Some you just literally get into the game and you unlock them. But others require hundreds of hours of cheesing and getting into to complete them. And if you want to do all the achievements in the game, I can tell you from previous Paradox games that you're gonna be spending a whole lot of time. All right, everybody, let's get into a game, see what's that about. Now, as you can see in the top side of the map, you have the starting year, and that's really important as you will see how much the map changes and how much the game changes based on these two time periods. And each of these tabs up here has basically a preset of 5 characters that you get to play as. And for this exercise, we're not going to be choosing one of these from the presets. What we're going to be doing is we're going to click play as any ruler in 1066. And that is going to allow us to choose basically from every single faction that is out there. And oh boy, there's a lot of them. What I really like about Crusader Kings 3 is the fact that instead of only focusing around Europe, as most medieval games do, Europe and maybe a bit of Northern Africa, this game expands a lot. And you get to see even India here. You have so many factions to choose from. And just look how many there are. All of these are playable. And each one of them has a different story. And that's what's great about it. Because you can take this little lord over here that's trying to unify all of the Lithuania, Estonia area, or you can go play as the Holy Roman Empire, or you can go as the Byzantines trying to reunite the Roman Empire and retake all those lands. You can even go, I don't know, like here in Bura and play as these guys. You can see how much there is out there. And this gives it a lot of replayability. And that's what's great about it. This large map that's really well detailed is gonna get you a whole lot of attempts at doing your own scenarios and forging your own story. And you get to choose your story the way you like it. It's a sandbox. It's a sandbox, and it's similar to Hearts of Iron 4, basically, or pretty much any Paradox game out there. All right, Emir an Nasir. Right, when you start the game, you get to choose the rule. Difficulty first. Easy disables achievements. And that's great. Make achievements hard again. And then, afterwards, you got the game rule, where you can modify things and customize them, as you can see, a whole lot. Now I'm going to tell you a bit about the Iron Man mode, which I really enjoy that it's in here. It's in most Paradox games, and what basically does is make it so you can't go back on your saves. Once the story happens, it happens, and yeah, that's that. Once you start the game, you're going to notice, as you zoom in, that you have all these little holdings, all these little territories, and each one of them is going to produce you some income, basically. It's a tax. The tax in the top right, you can see it's your monthly income. And it's your bread and butter. Basically, with gold, you build anything. And if you go into a settlement and choose it, let's go to Algiers. Right? This is your holding. In the top left, in the bottom left, you can get to build stuff. And you can build quite a lot, and it's quite extensive. You have a few slots, of course, and in these you choose what do you want. Do you want Justing Grounds, which gets you cheaper men-at-arms maintenance, gets you better cavalry? Do you want an archery grounds? Do you want tax officers to get more money out of your buildings? Do you want to build, I don't know, marshes? And so on, so forth. Let's go to the Issues tab. This Issues tab is so good. It's so good because the game is complicated, right? The game has a lot of mechanics out there, and it's layers upon layers upon layers, and you need to discover them in order to fully experience the game. What you're gonna see is these suggestions are gonna guide you, basically. They're gonna guide you through it, and slowly but surely you will experience most of the content in the game and get used to it. And that's really good. Here we have fabricating a claim. What is fabricating a claim? Basically, before you can declare a war, what you need to do is you need to give yourself a casus belli. You need to say why you're taking that territory, and that takes time. In this case, this suggestion is to fabricate a claim against one of these two factions. Once you click, you're going to see it has a progress bar, 0 out of 100, and this takes time. Takes time, and it slowly builds up. We can go to the military tab. Here you can see basically your army, and you got the nobles, sure, and you got the levies, but as the game progresses, you're gonna be able to create and customize your army so much and get so many things in. And of course, all the units are different, and that's really nice. And you get to choose from stronger, more expensive units to cheaper, weaker units, but who knows, maybe strength really does lie in numbers. You get these events that pop up, and yeah, they're really nice. Sure, I'll accept it. Okay, another event popping up. Now, before we go to war, you're gonna see the casus belli complete. Basically, the task, the claim turns into a casus belli. You're gonna need to pay a bit of money, and sure, see it done. Now, what happens next is I can go to this guy, and the character, of course, you can see he hates me now because I'm claiming his territory, and I can declare a war on him. I've got all these basically claims on him, and I can conquer him. I can invade the kingdom and so on. That is unavailable yet to me. I'm just gonna go for my claims, and you can see their military strength relative to yours. I can see that his is inferior, and the cost in this crown currency, in this prestige currency, it takes me to declare the war. Let's go for it. Once the war has been declared, next thing we need to do is raise the armies. And that takes time. I'm gonna unpause the game. As you can see, Almost built up. There we go, full strength. I'm gonna be taking my army and we're gonna be going to take his territory. The armies at the moment, a very important thing to notice is that they can walk through the sea, but there is no fleets. I don't know how they do it, but if I want to, I can click it and they will go through the sea. It's gonna take a bit of money, but yeah, I'm assuming in future expansions we're gonna get naval combat as well. Towards Tanas, where we're gonna take his settlement, and you can see we outpower them by quite a bit. So as we approach, he's trying to run away. But what happens is, because they can't really run away forever, is we're gonna siege their settlement. And similar to Hearts of Iron 4, you're gonna notice that the combat is done in a similar manner with a bar. Basically, once you push him to the edge, you win. He's running away. Okay, fine by me. I don't mind him. He can go probably attack my settlement, but my settlement has some defense. No, he's going to the sea. Okay, he's going after my capital. The siege is over. Once the siege is over, because he chose not to defend, he chose to run away from me, I get the claim. And I can enforce my demands. And taken, his lands are. Now, his lands are ours. Of course, there's still this vassal of his that we're going to be taking out in a second. And as the siege unfolds, again, he chose to go for Algiers. No, let's see again. Okay. And that's done as well. We're going to enforce our demands and take everything. And that's the land taken and my kingdom expanded. So you can see how this one works. You take land, you expand, but that's not the only way. There's also a diplomatic approach where you can go in and basically negotiate your way to a great kingdom, or you can do this. Disbanding your armies is a thing you should do because it gives you more income, and more income allows you to build up better units. For example, you can go to the military. We have 181 gold, and we can create for future wars an armored footman regiment. And as you can see, I'm gonna unpause again. That regiment is gonna slowly build up to 100 men. I don't want to get into the details and the mechanics of everything that this game has to offer because there's so many of them. And I can tell you that if you're a fan of strategy games, and especially ones where you get to forge your own scenario, you're going to have a great time with this. So what I can suggest is you can try it out. You can really try it out. If I were to give this game a grade, I'm probably going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10, I think it's fair. The reason why it's not a 9 is because whilst it is a lot more user-friendly than other Paradox games, especially with this mechanic where you have suggestions and everything is explained to you. You scroll over it and you can see, oh, scheme. What is a scheme? What is a scheme resistance? What is a scheme power? What is a opinion? And so on. What's this character like? Where is he from? All of these explanations help you a lot, but it's still very, very complicated. And it takes some time for a casual player to get into this game. But then again, it is the kind of game where you can forge your own story and you will have a great time. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I'm doing, my name's The Accordion. Leave a like, leave a subscribe down below, and I'll catch you in the next video game review. And we'll be taking a look at a whole lot more games. If you have any suggestions, if you're curious about the game, if maybe you want me to check out something that I haven't heard of, leave a comment below and I'll be taking a look at it. Thank you very much and see you in the next chapter.